everyone this morning? Glorious. Merry Christmas in July. It is the last Sunday in July, which is when we celebrate Christmas in July here at Unity of Tucson. What a pleasure it is to have you all join us on this beautiful day. I'm Reverend Jonathan Zenz. I am the senior minister here at Unity of Tucson, and let's just start off. We're going to do some Christmas sing-alongs because that's what we do when we're celebrating Christmas. Please welcome Alexander Lionheart to lead us.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo. Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why your joyous strains prolong? Tell me what these tidings be, which inspire this joyous song. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo. Recognize triumphantly, God within is taking wing, honoring the truth of me. I celebrate and dance and sing. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo.
Here to lead us in our next song is Anna Mello.
Joy to the world, the time is now. Let earth reveal new dreams. Let every heart prepare more room for healing and love to reign, for healing and love to reign, for healing and harmony and love to reign. Joy to the world, the truth be known. Let all our songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat, repeat the sounding joy. Light rules the world in truth and grace, and holds all nations in love. The glory of Christ's consciousness, and wonders of God love, and wonders of God love, and wonders, wonders of God love. Joy to the world, the time is now. Let earth reveal new dreams. Let every heart prepare more room for healing and love to reign, for healing and love to reign, for healing and harmony and love to reign.
And you'll know this. Here we go. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Now the ground is white, go it while you're young. Share the love tonight and sing the sleighing song. Just get a bobtail bay, 240 for his speed, and hitch it to an open sleigh, and then you'll take the lead. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. So are you ready to have some Christmas cheer today? Was that a good way to get going with some Christmas cheer today? Once again, good morning, beautiful humans. I'm so delighted to share this Sunday morning with you. Welcome to Unity of Tucson. We are a spiritual community here with the purpose of teaching practical tools for a better life. That's what we are here to do, to find what these practical tools are, put them to use in our life, and then live the life we want to live. Amen. I was just going to see if there was anything. Yeah. I would love it if you have a smartphone and you are willing to take that smartphone out right now. Go to our YouTube channel or our Facebook channel or where we are streaming live on our website. And just take a moment to go to the chat function in one of those places and reach out to acknowledge and say hello to all the people that are watching with us live online this morning. What a joy it is to know that we have an extended community, not just in this room, but out in the world. And I want to have a special shout out this morning to Britt. Because Britt, who is a member of our community, was living in Tucson but moved back to Sweden where she is from, she reconnected with her love from 57 years ago. And they, at 7 a.m. local time here this morning, they got married. So blessings to you, Britt. I know you may not be watching live, but if you're watching on the replay, I just want you to know that we are thinking about you with love in our hearts. Thank you so much. When you're complete with your cell phone, turn the ringer off, but you can leave your cell phone out. I have no issue with that because I say every week, I like to take notes on my phone. It's just a habit I have now. We carry a vision and a mission here at Unity of Tucson. And I would love for us to share out loud together the words of our vision statement. Here they are. We envision a world awakened to its magnificence. And the vision is how we see the world. The mission is what we do to get there. And so let's share these words of our mission statement. Love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. Love only, forgive everything, and remember who you are. If you are joining us for the first time today, first of all, let me reach out and say hello to everyone who's joining us for the first time today online. We would love for you to ensure a continued connection with us. And to do that, if you go to unitytucson.com/connect and fill out some information there, we'll be delighted to continue this connection. Grateful to have you here. And if you are in the room here for the first time today, well, it is Christmas in July, which you may not have been expecting. But if you are comfortable with identifying yourself by standing up, we have a gift that we would like to give to you. So is there anyone who's joining us for the first time here today? Anyone at all? I think this is a first. Well, here's what I know, and here's what I'm going to say that we should all exclaim to other people who are in the room and to everyone who is online. Let us let everyone else know what it is we know about them. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3. You are magnificent. You are absolutely magnificent, and what a delight it is that I get to share in your magnificence. Now, we do know this about other people because every single person we encounter is a reflection of that which is innate within ourselves. So let us exclaim as well this. I am magnificent. How does that feel? And the rest of you? I am magnificent. We should, one of the things that I am really keen on in my ministry is normalizing magnificence, because we are magnificent. And I know when I first heard somebody say to me, "You are magnificent," it brought tears to my eyes because I thought, I didn't know that, but now I do. And so I want to normalize magnificence, and let us all share in that together. Would you please welcome today's keeper of the flames, who is here to light the flames of faith. This is Kathy Brandon joining us here today. Always a delight to have Kathy join us. Kathy is going to light the flames of faith, which is a ritual that we've adopted here to acknowledge that at the core of all faith traditions, all spiritual paths, all religions is one thing, and it is a golden thread of love. So with each candle that we light, let us celebrate that here today. Kathy.
We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and the practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to divine love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the paths of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light a candle for all faith traditions unnamed in this ceremony, and for any seekers who may be unaware of the power and presence of spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are keeping open for them in our hearts. We light this final candle to represent the healing of any circumstance that requires divinity to be revealed. This is your candle for whatever is in your mind and heart that requires the light. And may we also honor the recipients of all these beautiful toys and gifts that we have made for them. May they know our light is touching their light.
Thank you. The candle here on your left is our peace candle. We keep the peace candle consistently illuminated with this understanding that it represents a consistent illumination of peace in our own hearts. And as we allow our inner peace to inform our thoughts, our actions, our intentions, our deeds, we create right where we are a more peaceful world. And it extends from right where we are. So let us honor this candle by saying together this prayer for world peace. Divine love indwells each person and radiates from one to another. Harmony is established and peace begins to reign in the world. Thank you. Would you please welcome to the platform here today our prayer chaplain to offer a reading, an affirmation, and our prayer. This is Ruth Starwell.
Good morning, and may I be the first to wish you a very Merry Christmas. You knew somebody had to do it. And today's reading is from some bear wisdom from Winnie the Pooh and the book The Tao of Pooh by Benjamin Hill. Christmas presents, once opened, are not so much fun as they were while we were in the process of examining, lifting, shaking, thinking about, and opening them. 365 days later, we try again and find that the same thing has happened. Each time the goal is reached, it becomes not so much fun. And we're off to reach the next one, then the next one, then the next. That doesn't mean the goals we have don't count. They do, mostly because they cause us to go through the process. And it's the process that makes us wise, happy, or whatever. If we do things in the wrong sort of way, it makes us miserable, angry, confused, and things like that. The goal has to be right for us, and it has to be beneficial in order to ensure a beneficial process. But aside from that, it's really the process that's important. Enjoyment of the process is the secret that erases the myth of the great reward and saving time. Perhaps this can help to explain the everyday significance of the word Tao, the way. What could we call the moment before we begin to eat honey? Some would call it anticipation, but we think it's more than that. We would call it awareness. And when we become happy and realize it, if only for an instant, by enjoying the process, we can stretch that awareness out so that it no longer is only a moment, but it covers the whole thing. Then we can have a lot of fun, just like poo. So now I'm going to read today's affirmation, this month's affirmation, and I just invite you to allow it to kind of settle in for you. How does it feel for you? And then I'll invite you, if you'd like, to say it out loud with me 2 more times. I am, and understand that I am, a fully realized experience of God Source energy. And join me. I am, and understand that I am, a fully realized experience of God Source energy. And then again. I am, and understand that I am, a fully realized experience of God Source energy.
Just take a moment to settle into an awareness of the God energy that you are, the experience of God that you are. Just take this moment.
It's not the glow you feel when snow appears. It's not the Christmas card you've sent for years. Not the joyful sound when sleigh bells ring, or the merry songs children sing. The little gift you send on Christmas Day may not bring back the friend you turned away. So may I suggest the secret of Christmas things you do all year through.
And today we celebrate the process of seeking and finding the divine love within. Today we celebrate the giving of that divine love to each other. And today we celebrate the receiving of divine love reflected back in all its glory and its beauty. And so it is with that awareness of knowing the one love, the one heart, the one being that is each and every one of us, that we rest in peace. We allow the wisdom to speak and move and act through our lives. And so it is with gratitude of this celebration, of this process, of this being, that we acknowledge each and every one here today as that divine love, blessing each one. And so it is.
The little gift you send on Christmas Day may not bring back the friend you turned away. So may I suggest the secret of Christmas is not the things you do at Christmas time, but the Christmas things you do all year through.
One of my favorite movies of all time is a movie called Auntie Mame. Auntie Mame was turned into a Broadway musical called Mame, because in a Broadway musical it's better if you just have a one-word title. Oklahoma, Hamilton, Cats, Rent. Yeah. There's a magnificent song that is part of that show that I asked very specifically Anna Mello, who's going to be our very own Auntie Mame here today, to sing. Would you please welcome Auntie Mame, Anna Mello.
Well, this Auntie Mame took a little liberty with some lyrics, so they've been unitized. So let's have some fun. Bring out our jolly, put up some decorations to bring our spirits up, fill up our heart space. There is no rushing things, we choose to deck the halls now. For we need a little Christmas right this very minute. Candles in the window, carols at the spinet. Yes, we need a little Christmas right this very minute. There is no snow in Old Southwest, but monsoon is our welcome guest. So dress up the chimney, turn on the brightest string of lights I've ever seen. Slice up some fruit cake, it's time we've hung some tinsel on the evergreen bough. For little Christmas now. Bring out our jolly, put up some decorations, bring our spirits up, fill up our heart space. There is no rushing things, we choose to deck the halls now. For we need a little Christmas right this very minute. Candles in the window, carols at this minute. Yes, we need a little Christmas right this very minute. There is no snow in Old Southwest, but monsoon is our welcome guest. So dress up the chimney, turn on the brightest string of lights I've ever seen. Slice up some fruit cake, it's time we've hung some tinsel on the evergreen bough. For I've grown a little leaner, grown a little colder, grown a little sadder, grown a little older, and I need a little angel sitting on my shoulder. I need a little Christmas now. For we need a little music, need a little laughter, need a little singing, ringing through the rafter, and we need a little snappy, happy ever after. We need a little Christmas now. We need a little Christmas now.
Hannah Mello! We need a little Christmas now. I was reflecting on, the construct of doing Christmas in July, and it's a thing, Christmas in July is a thing for many people. And I think part of the reason that I love doing Christmas in July is because it is such a strange thing to do. And yet it's not. It seems very simple and easy. We get into the month of December, and it's like, oh, we're going to have this sacred time when the light, becomes less frequent. You know what I mean, right? Like, there's less sunlight during the day, and and the air cools down quite a bit. Actually, the air has cooled down a bit here the last couple days, right? But the air cools down, and there's a quieting, I think, in our energy and in our spirit that once Christmas is over and we get back to it and we're getting through going and going and going, we get to July, it's like, and I just need to stop sometimes. Take a breath and allow. Just allow. Allow myself to remember that Christmas is not just about one day. It doesn't have to be. That the construct of joy to the world, peace on earth, and goodwill to all is something that we can carry and exhibit and express throughout the entire year. It does not have to be just one day or one part of the season throughout the year. Today, one of the things that really kind of resonated with me is how you started the rewrite of your lyrics. And I have no issue with rewriting lyrics personally. We might get into some copyright issues if they ever found out, but I'm not going to worry about that. But you started off with bring on the jolly. Yeah, bring on the jolly. And it made me think about what I wanted to speak to today. So I titled my talk, Bring in the Jolly. We can bring it on and then bring it in, right? We can attract the jolly. We can allow ourselves to take that jolly nature and let it be a magnificent, rooted part of who we are. The thing is, we can never not have it. We just forget sometimes. So that's why we are going to celebrate and continue to celebrate in this community Christmas in July, every single July on the last Sunday of the month, because I think it is good for us to remember. How do we find our jolly, though? And what is
jolly, you know? For me, I think of jolly, I think of, Santa Claus. Ho, 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 ho. And he was a jolly fat elf, right? That's what they say. That he was a pure experience of magnificent joy. And he will spread that joy throughout the world. At least that's one way of understanding it. And here's the thing about joy. There is no other purpose in life than to experience, feel, and express joy. That's it. There is no other purpose in life. That's what one of the founders and one of the fathers of New Thought taught, Thomas Troward. He said the only reason for us to be here is to experience and express joy. Everything else is superfluous. It's secondary. So let me ask you this question. It is a rhetorical question. I'm not looking for a show of hands. But I want you to just check in with yourself in this moment to answer this question for yourself. Am I truly experiencing infinite joy? And if there's a yes, but, the but is always the thing that we need to start looking at and start addressing, because there is no reason to ever have a but. Sometimes I think about this. I used to joke with my mentor in ministry that every time he would say something that could be maybe a little blue, that I had these things all on video. Because I used to take care of videotaping all of his messages and everything, and I would oh, that's something I need to remember. Of course, I haven't remembered anything because I videotaped messages of his for years, and if I ever tried to go back and find all of that stuff, I would never find it. But I thought to myself in just that moment, wow, if somebody used that and put it on the internet and said, what is this minister talking about his butt for? What would you sit on? What would I sit on if I got rid of my butt? Thank you, Darwin, for bringing that to mind. All right, I need to regroup myself as I've gone off track. I want to talk a little bit about unity as a faith philosophy. I don't tend to use the word religion. I say it's a faith philosophy. It is a pathway to a deepened expression and experience of life. And I want to acknowledge the fact that unity does have its roots in Christianity. Charles Fillmore, Myrtle Fillmore were very much rooted in the paradigm of Christian teaching. And they brought a metaphysical understanding, they brought a metaphorical approach to understanding Christianity. And ultimately, what I think they were encouraging us all to do was to let go of the trappings of what would be considered traditional Christianity and move more towards the teaching of the Christ. That's what they were here to do. That's what they were here to express and exhibit. So when I was at Unity Village this a few weeks ago, I guess it's a few months ago now, we were all given this beautiful brochure for Unity Village. And right in the very opening of it, it said, while having its beginnings in Christianity, the Unity teachings bring together ancient wisdom from many faith traditions. And so that's why I think having an example and an experience of a ritual like the Flames of Faith is important to me in my expression as a Unity minister. While we have doctrine, we do not teach dogma. And I've talked about the difference between doctrine and dogma. Dogma cannot be questioned. Doctrine, I think, should be questioned. We should constantly be asking questions and putting this to the test. And in Unity, we honor all spiritual paths. That's an important thing for me to reflect on and remember as we celebrate today, Christmas in July. So what do we teach in Unity? I've thought about some things that we teach in Unity. One of the things that we teach in Unity is this: an aspirational vision for a transformed society. An aspirational vision for a transformed society. And that, I think, can be found in remembering who we are. And on this day where we celebrate Christmas in July, that's what Jesus was teaching. An aspirational vision for a transformed society. What we don't teach is an afterlife dream about heaven, where we're going to get to at some point. We don't teach that. Jesus didn't teach that. That's all stuff that was constructed later. What we do teach, practical steps in support of a movement to advance a message. That message is love only. And isn't that what Jesus taught? Love only. Jesus was here to fulfill the covenant and present a new covenant that was rooted in that construct. Love only, full stop, period, end of sentence. That's it. Love only. What we don't teach is the worship of a name. We don't teach the worship of something out there. We teach a sense of worthship that is existing right here at the core of each and every one of us. What we do teach, that Jesus was one who demonstrated unity in his expression and experience of life. He was not the only one. There is no separation from God. He said, I and the Father are one, and he wasn't talking about himself as though he's setting himself apart. He was saying, we as the collective I are one with the infinite power and presence that is God. Again, remember who you are. What we don't teach is that the death of Jesus solved the problem of a separation from God, which is a conscious issue and idea, for we can never be separate. We only trick ourselves into thinking that we're separate because we start to believe all the stuff out there rather than looking to our heart, remembering ourselves as the divine, expressing love only, and letting that be the place from which we flow forward into experience and expression. Much of the dogma of traditional Christianity is rooted in and conceived by this man who is purported to have written much of the New Testament, and that is a man named Paul. And it deviates from the core message of Jesus. Paul leaned into the magical message, making the relevant aspects of Jesus' life be the birth and the death, rather than what I like to call the dash. You know what the dash is, right? You go to a headstone and it's got the birth date, and then there's the date of transition, and in between there's a dash. And that dash represents the breadth of a life. So Paul made it a lot about what traditionally Christmas is about, the birth, and what traditionally Easter is about, the death and the resurrection. But I want to focus on the dash. This is the teaching. This is the dash. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. It is here, right here and now. There is no place we're ever getting to. The kingdom of heaven is a state of mind. This is also part of the dash. Be compassionate. Live and express from a heart of compassion, pure love, for that is what and who you are. Have faith. Have faith. Rooted in your innate identity as God. It is not faith in God, it is the faith of God as God. That is who and what we are. Be sincere. What do I mean by that? It is not up to us to showboat our faith. One of the things I loved about New Thought teachings, and I mean, there's a lot that I love about New Thought teaching. But one of the things that really resonated with me is that we don't proselytize in New Thought. We don't go out there and try to convert people. We teach that the best way to invite people into this frame of mind is to live the best life we can and then be the example in the same way that Jesus was the example. That if we're doing that, then we draw into our experience, we attract into our experience those who resonate at that vibration, or those who want to resonate at that vibration and see this as a path to that end. In Matthew 6, it says, when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. That's not our thing. That's not our thing. Now, do we pray publicly? Yes. But it is always rooted in the quiet of our mind. It is not about the show of prayer. It is about the activity of prayer. Also, part of that dash is the teaching, love your enemies. Oh, that's a hard one for some people. There is no time for hate. Ultimately, that's what it all boils down to. There is no time for hate. So love that which you perceive to be your enemy. You know how you do that? In remembering who you are, recognize that they are that too. I've always said, as a long-standing part of my ministry, that when I know who I am, when I recognize and know myself as God, then I must know that about every single person that exists on this planet, and I must know that about all creation, for there can be no separation from the infinite. And when I understand that as my truth, and I understand that as your truth, it eliminates all the isms, and it eliminates all the phobias, for there can be no isms, there can be no phobias when we know who we are and understand that, because all we would see in the faces of every single person we encounter is God and nothing else. Can you get behind that principle, that ideal, and see the face of God in every single person you encounter? I'm going to let you off the hook. I have a challenge with that sometimes myself. But when I find myself faced with that challenge, I have adopted in my heart a reminder to say, I know who I am. And so I know who this person is too. And so I must acknowledge and admit that love is the only way. Another part of the dash is this: God in man is man. Not meant to be gender specific. It's all humanity. It's all creation. God in creation is creation. Again, the Father and I are one. We are that power. We are that presence. Also, it is done unto you as you believe. It is done unto you as you believe. And so what is it that you believe? One of the things I forgot to say this morning, and I frequently say at the beginning of each week's celebration, is you may hear things that you don't believe or may challenge your beliefs. That's a good thing, because if we are inviting you to invest in a doctrine, then question the doctrine. Question what it is we are saying you may want to look at as a belief. Question your own beliefs to say, is this a belief that is absolutely working for me in my life? And if it is, magnificent. And if it is not, you and you alone have the power to shift your beliefs. How do we do that? Well, the practical tools we teach in this particular philosophy are prayer and meditation. And boy, did we get into quite a discussion about the differences between prayer and meditation in the Wednesday night class. It was because a lot of what we ended up with in the Wednesday night class, I would identify more as active, prolonged prayer than meditation, the way we teach meditation. Nothing wrong with that. It's really a semantic argument. Here's the thing. How are you utilizing your mind, rooted in your heart space, to address that which you may want to address? Because as we place that energy into love only, into infinite forgiveness, and into remembering who we are, those for me are the only things that I ever want to focus on in prayer. That's the only thing I ever want to contemplate in a contemplative meditation practice. Because when I embody those things, and I invite you to consider, if you embody those things, love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. If you embody those things, you know what happens? Life gets so much easier. Because I stop thinking about all the stuff out there, because I cannot be moved by stuff out there any longer. Jesus taught this too. He gave us in the Sermon on the Mount, he gave us scientific prayer. Ask and it shall be given. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. All he said is, make your claim and it is so. That is rooted in knowing who you are. That is rooted in faith. You have to knock. One of my favorite mottos is, you can't get the yes unless you ask. Think about that. We're all so quick to acknowledge and admit a no in our lives because we are too afraid to ask. But if you want your life to shift, ask for the shift. Don't ask it from anything out there. Ask it of yourself. What is mine to do today to shift into a direction of love, forgiveness, and unity, wholeness, understanding? We do teach there are many paths. There are many paths. And my encouragement always is find what works. Find what works. What we don't teach is that there's only one legitimate way to know the truth, for there is only one legitimate way to understand and experience divinity. That would be dogma. That would be dogma. What is the path that works for you? Heaven is at hand. I believe this. This is what I believe. Check in with what you believe. Heaven is at hand, for it is a state of mind. It is not some place I'm getting to. It is a place that I can accept and live wholeheartedly right here and now. The responsibility for the suffering that we experience on this plane of action is not God's to fix, not God out there, but it is God's to fix because we are the power and the presence. It is ours to address. We don't teach final judgment. Doesn't exist. There is no condemnation that we teach. There is only love. That's it. The second coming of Jesus is our acceptance of our innate divinity. We are the second coming of Jesus. That's what we stand for here. So what will you do today? What will you do today? I love social media. I don't know if anybody knows that because I talk about it, I think, more frequently than I would care to admit. There's a video that has gone around, and actually the audio from the video has been used in many different iterations, but it's Abraham Hicks. And this is one of the things that I thought, this really resonates with me today because I think this is how we bring in our jolly. We decide to live it. So in this video, it is Esther Hicks saying these things out loud. And she says this, so when people say, what are you doing? You say, things that please me. And they'll say, toward what end? Pleasure. But what are you really working on? Having a good time. But what do you hope to accomplish? Living happily ever after. But what do you want to leave as your legacy? I was a happy one. But what is the mark that you want to have? Life is joyous. But what is the value that you see in contributing to this time and space reality? I am joyful. But what do you hope to accomplish? Being happy. Let go of the notion that you have to please anybody else. Let go of the notion that you have to be something to anything outside of the self. Our job is to bring in the jolly, to find the joy in our hearts, and to live it with abandon and unapologetically. The mystics of the ages have all encouraged us in this direction. So we can, each and every one of us can bring in the jolly. We can live the joy we seek today and evermore by remembering who we are, forgiving everything, and understanding love only. Merry Christmas. You are magnificent. So here's a practical tool that I will invite you to take on in practice this week. This is the homework. I was gonna say, if there's anybody who's new here for the first time, I give homework every week, but y'all know that I give homework every week. This is the homework. I want you to disrupt, actively disrupt any thoughts that contradict your true identity. Whoa. Here's the thing. You don't have to put a lot of weight into it. When you think something that contradicts your identity, that contradicts the understanding of who you are, just say, whoa, stop, that's not true, or whatever you choose to say. That might work for me. Just allow yourself to take the moment to say, no, I don't have to believe this. I don't have to believe this. Now, you can use something. You know, there's people who will like put rubber bands around their wrist, and like, if they have a thought that they don't want to have, they will then snap the rubber band. I think that's a little cruel. But if that works for you, then go for it. I have at times carried like a touchstone in my pocket, a little river stone, so that if I have forgotten something and I happen to put my hand in my pocket, I'm like, oh yes, there's the reminder. Just something that says, this is my commitment to remembering. So just let's all take that into our hearts and let that be the homework this week. Disrupt the thoughts that don't work. So of course, as benediction today, what other song would we sing on Christmas? I invite you to relax right where you are.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Voice in the distance, call in the night, on wind you enfold us, you speak of the light. Gentle on the ear you whisper softly, rumors of a dawn so embracing, breathless love awaits darkened souls, soon will we know of the morning. Let's just take this opportunity to reflect right here and right now on this idea that there is only one infinite power and presence. There is only one source of all creation. There is only one purposeful energy that is transmuting itself from energy into experience. It is God. And there is nothing other than this infinite power and presence. And knowing there is nothing separate from the infinite, I know that each and every one of us, and acknowledge and reflect upon this, each and every one of us is this power. And this is the great equalizer. For our core identity being divine, how can we understand anything but the divinity in all? And so I take into my heart a greater experience, an acknowledgement, an expression of joy here, now, and evermore. I allow myself to be reminded at all times that the joy I seek is here, within. And I trust and know that each and every one of us does this in our own unique, magnificent way. So I acknowledge this good, I acknowledge this flow, and I allow it to be so with gratitude overflowing from within. I know it to be, and I accept it by saying, and so it is. Amen. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child,
Alexander Lionheart. I'm going to invite us all to acknowledge in our hearts this construct as well. I choose to understand this community as a spiritual family, that we are in an expression and experience of spiritual cooperation. So why don't we call this a spiritual cooperative where each and every one of us are equal in supporting each other? You know, there is a magnificent person here in the room today who consistently reminds me about the nature of ministry, that it is a shared thing. And I think it's important that we all find that minister in our own hearts to support each and every one of us in love, to support each and every one of us in forgiveness, and to support each and every one of us in remembering at all times the truth of our being. One of the ways that we do this to continue this cooperative is by supporting it financially. And so I invite you to take out whatever it is you are offering Unity of Tucson today as a financial contribution in support of this idea, and hold it to your heart. There are many ways that you can give. You can give by pre-authorized contributions. You can get onto a regular giving schedule that way. You can give in the bookstore if you have a card. You can text 73256 to make your contribution. There are many, many ways, but I invite you to understand that what it is you are offering Unity of Tucson here today is a reflection of love. For money is love in action. Money is God in action. And as it flows through this place, through this space, through this time, all flows forth with grace and with ease for the betterment of this entire world. So hold it to your heart and let us share together our divine givingness statement. I share this gift with love, conscious of the inner presence as the lavish source and substance of my supply. I am rooted in the assurance that this gift blesses Unity of Tucson, and I trust in its ever-present circulation, knowing its blessings return to me. And so it is. Little Irving Berlin today.
When I'm worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings instead of sheep, and I fall asleep counting my blessings.
When my bankroll is getting small, I think of when I had none at all, and I fall asleep counting my blessings.
And I think about a nursery, and I picture curly heads.
And one by one I count them as they slumber in their beds.
So if you're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of sheep, and you'll fall asleep counting your blessings.
Very own Linda Ackerman.
And I think about a nursery, and I picture curly heads.
And one by one I count them as they slumber in their beds.
So if you're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of sheep, and you'll fall asleep counting your blessings. Yes, you'll fall asleep counting your blessings.
Thank you, Alex. Laura Cass, what a delight.
how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Fabulous.
Laura Cass
I'm
is...
having a great Christmas so far.
I'm glad you're having a great Christmas so far. So am I.
It's fabulous.
Laura Cass is the leader of our prayer chaplains and the president of our board. She is here to bless the offering here today.
In gratitude, we acknowledge these gifts offered with love and jolliness. We trust and know that these gifts are used wisely for the continued benefit of our community family. We bless each sacred offering, each sacred one who provided the offering, and with our grateful hearts, we acknowledge the inflow and outflow of life, love, the bounty and grace of God. Merry Christmas, and so it is. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Laura. It's like, I'm not going to prolong the service, I promise. The dinner gala is coming up. We have a dinner gala and silent auction that's going to be happening on September 30th. And I've been saying all along that ticket sales will be opened on August 1st. And I thought, well, why am I opening it tomorrow when I could open it today? So, if you would like to secure your spot for the dinner gala and silent auction event evening, you can purchase your tickets in the bookstore or online. Now, I need to let you know something that we are doing. When I take the glasses off, that means it's important. We have 15 available tables. 5 of those tables, we are seeking sponsorship for those tables. And we're asking you to, if you have the capacity and the availability to buy an entire table at a larger price, I will say it's at a larger price. What that does is it gives you a tax benefit because whatever the offset of the value of the table is becomes a contribution to Unity of Tucson, but it is to support 25 volunteers who are working tirelessly to make this event happen. And so those volunteers would get their participation in the evening at no additional cost to them. So we're selling 5 tables at $500 a piece. If you are interested, we only have those 5, and I can already tell you that one of those is gone because I bought a table. So we only have 4 tables left. We only have 3 tables left. We only have 2 tables left. Do I hear one? We have 1 table left. All right.
That's
I could sell 6, but we limited it to 5 because we also want to acknowledge and have the space available for everybody else who wants to, just buy a single ticket. Anyway, just so you know that is available to you. The single tickets are $40 a piece. It includes a magnificent meal. We just booked the caterer this week. And you know what I saw online? We're using Chef Chic as our caterer. Do you know? Yeah. And Wendy, it's Wendy, I believe is her name, who owns Chef Chic, just participated in Iron Chef Tucson yesterday. I don't know who won though. Anyway, you're gonna love the meal. It's an extraordinary menu that we've put together, and I'm super excited for that. So please do plan on joining us for that magnificent evening. What else is happening here?
Can I add to that?
Yes.
And also, it's a celebration of Jonathan's doctorate that he received. I don't know if we call him, is it what's appropriate, Reverend Doctor or Dr. Reverend?
Reverend Doctor is
all right,
typically what
thank
people
you.
say. But you can call me Jonathan too, because ministry is a shared responsibility. So, I don't have to set myself apart. I want us all to understand that we are all divine and ordained in our own hearts. And for me, that's what this celebration is all about. Yeah, I get to put a hood on or whatever, but I just want us to have fun more than anything. So join us for the dinner gala, which will be on September 30th. Tickets are available now. If you have any items or know of anyone who would like to participate by making a donation to the silent auction, please see Sherry Bolin or contact the office to be put into contact with Sherry Bolin. For that. We have fall classes beginning, of course. Metaphysics with Susan Smith. Susan, there she is, waving her hand, our licensed Unity teacher here. She'll be teaching Metaphysics 1 beginning a week from Wednesday. I will be teaching Unity Prayer starting this coming Thursday. The Unity Prayer class is only through Zoom because I thought I was going to be out of town for some of those meetings, and so I thought it would just be easier to put it all on Zoom. The metaphysics class will be hybrid. You can be in the classroom or on Zoom. Either way works. You can sign up for those in the bookstore. I do want to say that today's prayer chaplains in service, of course, you've seen them both, are Ruth Starwell and Laura Cass. Thank you for your service. If you would like a moment of prayer following the service, they will be on either side and about the middle of the sanctuary. One will be on each side of the sanctuary. You can seek them out. You can also make prayer requests by putting a slip into the prayer box out in the lobby. If you are online, you can send an email to prayer@unitytucson.com with your requests, and those get distributed to the entire prayer team. Your prayers also subsequently go to Silent Unity as well. Yes, I am coming to that. That is actually the next thing. Do you have something you want to say about it?
I was just going to ask.
You got to come up to the microphone, though, so people online can hear you. Oh, you have a microphone on.
Can you hear me? Okay,
Yes.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask if everyone here, if there's anyone who has either brought in an animal or sewn a bag, if you could stand up and we can just acknowledge
Yes.
your wonderfulness for this community.
Yes, what a blessing. Do you know how many bags were made so far?
Well, as of last week, we had 180.
We have 180 bags. We have all of these stuffies that we're going to give away. These all go to Viva Family Services to support children who are being transitioned into foster homes. And it's something that we do every year that culminates on Christmas in July. And it is such a blessing to be able to share this experience of outreach in this community, with this community, as this community. So thank you all who participated. We'll be back to it again next year on Mother's Day, which is when we launch Bears in the Chairs every single year. I do want to say thank you to everybody who made today possible. Of course, our technical team in the back, Wally and Don and Rowan, thank you for your magnificent service in support of our experience and expression of ministry. I want to say thank you to Laura Cass and to Ruth Starwell, our prayer chaplains on duty. Magnificent blessings to Kathy Brandon, our keeper of the flames today. Thank you so much. Of course, oh my gosh, this magnificent, glorious group of musicians, Linda and Joshua and Raphael, our Unity of Tucson band, Alexander Lionheart and Anna Mello. I am always so grateful that you share your gifts with this community, and so thank you so much for being here and being part of our community. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for making your presence known here, not just here at Unity of Tucson, but in this thing called life. You are magnificent, and I adore you. I'm grateful for you every single day. As we complete our time here, let us share together this prayer of divine awareness. I am infinite light. I am infinite love. I am infinite power. I am infinite presence. Wherever God is, I am. Wherever I am, God is. And so it is. Amen. You'll recognize this closing today. Feel free to stand up and move your body.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all, with those holiday greetings and gay happy meetings when friends come to call. It's the happiest season of all. There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time, yes, the most wonderful time week, everyone.